video is to show that homelessness is an issue and they are being ignored. In the news, it states that they are being relocated humanely, but where are they going? $50 million have been invested creating longer-term housing. And then our last purpose is image of Atlanta is to show that it's a big growing city with many possibilities that's gearing towards the wealthy. And to keep this image, they must get rid of and replace the homeless. I'm Morgan Miller.
Corey Wilkins. I'm King.
I'm Gabby. I'm Valerie.
I'm Morgan Miller, and we are here at Peachtree Pine Shelter. This shelter was closed down about a year ago, and it was shut down because of basically the lawsuits that were going on with this building. And this shelter held over 500 families, men, women with children, single women, single men. This facility is really large. If you want to come with me, the front of the building here. And it extends all the way down here. All right, so on this particular end, they had the men, and on down further were the women and the children, okay, because they don't have them together. Huh? Kind of. Do you know anything about this building?
How you doing, sir?
You used to stay here. Can we get your name?
It's Joshua.
Nice to meet you, Joshua.
But everybody calls me Star.
Star, okay.
Yes. The reason why they closed it down was not because of the misuse of taking advantage of what was given as donations and grants. The individual that owned this was named, but she misused the funds. Tyler Perry paid the water bill twice. The water bill ran up to a substantial amount of $500,000.
Oh wow.
And Tyler Perry paid it twice.
Oh wow.
The task force for the homeless moved to right up the street.
I want to take the time to thank Joshua for explaining what's going on with the building, and prior to the fact that the people who are leaving the building, some are going to the Salvation Army, and others are in like public housing, but he never answered on where the other ones are going. That's off the streets pretty much. But I just want to take the time to thank him. I'll pray for him and pray for everybody else. That's how I go.
We are still on Pine Street, and right now we're walking to Budget Tail, and a lot of homeless people reside at Budget Tail as well. Yes, yes, yes.
You can feel me, because even dealing with this, it seems like they have a little bit of security rather than the other place that we filmed. You even just tell by the certain cars, certain people here are more up class.
And if you look across the street, they have built a gate, kind of like blocking out and separating where the homeless would be, and then where the wealthy or middle class would be. That need a shelter, that need a place to go.
Also, even if you notice, just around, there used to be benches, places you could sit. There's no places you could sit now. Everybody's sleeping on the floor. And then even prior to the sleeping on the floor, it's just, now they're actually being moved from these locations where they're sleeping. And it's like, where are they going to go? Where can you put them? And it's crazy. It's just like, would you put them in a lower class area in a class like Stone Mountain, or where would they go? Macon, Savannah? It's just crazy on how.
Because we know they can't go to the suburbs.
Because we know they can't go to the suburbs. That's the fact.
And not going to put them in the suburbs, right? Because this who's coming here. The people from the suburbs are coming back into the city. So that's why they're building that 170,000 square foot tower, a multi-family tower that has 200 units right where they shut that shelter down. That's what it's being used for. It's not being used for the poor and for the homeless to have a place to stay, but it's being used for the rich and the wealthy and people to come and enjoy Atlanta. So what image does this say about Atlanta?
Does it say that we care about the homeless, or does it say we care about the rich and the wealthy?
And then even far as the middle class, it's like even dealing with them, they're up in rent and still even creating more buildings. Even as you can see now, there's really no space no more. And even the space that there is, they're just creating more buildings that cost more money that even middle class can't even pay for. So like how she said, my fellow friend here, Morgan, it's like even if you look around, as far as the image, what image is Atlanta trying to get? And it's just even far as you look on one street, it looks nice. You look on another street,
It looks ghetto.
it looks ghetto.
It looks raggedy. It has trash on the
Not
ground.
only that,
Not being kept or maintenance.
not only that, they can say it's the people's fault, but nobody's helping, nobody's actually caring. And prior to that being said, even if it was the people's fault, you could actually help. Nobody helps.
Where is the help? So when they push out the homeless, where do they go? Where are they supposed to go?
As we wondered about the closing of Peachtree Ponce homeless shelter, we wondered where they all went. Where did these people go? To answer that question, we head over to the airport where many sources say that the homeless population has grown since the closing of many homeless shelters, which makes sense. Not only is the airport filled with the hustle and bustle of travelers and tourists, hundreds of homeless people camp out alongside the north and south terminals, as well as the connecting atrium.
Hello, my name is Kate, and this is my partner.
Su Huang.
And today, we are at the Atlanta International Airport. The airport got its start in 1909. It was just a dirt racetrack. Then in 1948, it became a temporary terminal. In 1961, the airport became a jet age. Then in 1980s, the airport became one of the largest and busiest airports. In 2017, the closing of the Peachtree Pine, just 10 minutes north of us, caused a wave of homeless people to seek shelter in the airport. The surrounding homeless shelters like the Youth Connections Incorporated and the Calvary Refugee Incorporated are within minutes of the airport. They close early and provides food and place to stay during the weekdays in the day. Authorities have taken the initiative to acting humane towards the homeless by giving out resources for assistance.
Frequent travelers didn't like seeing the homeless people in the airport because the image gave a bad stigma about Atlanta. Because of the complaints, there have been stricter rules, but the closure of Peachtree Pine caused many people to seek shelter at the airport. The Youth Connection Incorporated was a 10-minute drive, and the place was hard to find and closed off. The Calvary Refuge Incorporated was only open during the weekdays in the morning, so people didn't have a place to stay overnight.
When arriving in West End, I'll admit that it was pretty easy to quickly judge the atmosphere of the town just because we were not used to the atmosphere of such a strong urban street culture. However, by looking past the appearance and learning about the interesting history behind West End, you'll begin to feel pretty amazed by the historical, legendary footprints that have graced the streets of West End and the monuments left for us to admire. So just a few facts about West End. West End was one of the initial neighborhoods to be connected by streetcars. West End was initially founded as Whitehall, which was a town that was once inhabited by the white upper class. During the Civil Rights Movement, West End gradually became a predominantly African American town, causing what is called the White Flight, which is known as the migration of the people of European descent to avoid living in a racially mixed neighborhood. West End was the home of notable authors, including Joel Chandler Harris. If you know who he is, then you most likely have heard of the Uncle Remus tales. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Yes, my name is Michael Sears. I'm security here at the Mall West End.
Okay. Do you have like a little bit of information? Like, do you know about like the homeless people in this area? Like how they are treated? Like how they, like, just kind of just explain about like your experience with.
Well, my experience with the homeless is that they be around the mall a lot. Of course, they are homeless.
Yeah.
They sleep outside, from time to time.
Do you ever see them like lying around in the mall?
Inside the mall?
No, ever?
That is forbidden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, are there like times where you have to like, because you're a security, so were there times where you had to like maybe escort some homeless people out of the mall or?
Absolutely.
Okay. What was that like? Like, do they usually, like, once you remove them, do they just stay out or do they continue to stay out?
They come back.
They come back? Okay. Do you know if, like, have you ever sort of spoken to them or kind of just asked them, like, you know, where they come from, like, who they are? You know, no one talks to them, no one helps them out?
No, we have one guy, he comes around a lot, and he can't talk, but he can hear. So he's pretty much one of the good guys.
One of the good ones?
Yeah.
So
he's just homeless.
They're the good ones, and then they're the troubled ones? Okay. All right. If you like to, you can introduce yourself. If not, if you want to stay completely anonymous, that's also fine. Okay, so you can like state your name.
My name is Ponce.
Okay. And do you work here?
Yes, I work here.
Okay. So basically, I just want to ask you, have you encountered any homeless people around here in this area? Like, if you've encountered any?
50%.
50%? What was your experience like with them?
I grew up around this neighborhood, so I know pretty much how it looks, how it's been. It's changing slowly and slowly, so the community getting better and better.
How was it before the community?
A lot of prostitution, a lot of drugs, a lot of gang activity, a lot of crime, high crime, high risk, So it's getting there back slowly, and then again, it's kind of changing slowly at the same time, because the community starting to change, and new things coming in, then like the belt line and the school,
So do you feel like that is, probably part of the reason why so many people are becoming homeless because of the?
No, they're not making choices, like good choices, because they giving up on life. Because they tired of asking people for things and no one not really giving it to them, so they prefer someone just hand it out to them, just do it for them, than not trying to get out and just go earn it, just get out and just go work for it.
Have you tried yourself to help them, maybe kind of like buy them a meal or?
I give back all the time, so it's like, like every day I do something. Like I go toward the bridge, I stay right here by Morehouse College, so I know, like going up on the bridge, seeing them homeless guys come up on there, I give them like $1. Or they say, hey, you want some pizza? I just take a box of pizza. So, I just try to do something as I come through every other day when I come by.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. Do you have any knowledge of maybe like shelters around here in this area?
The closest shelter is the ones that like downtown by like the jail and the Salvation Army.
Oh, do you know like any names, like specific?
I'm sorry, this is kind of busy.
No, you're absolutely fine. No, you're fine. So,
you left off at
the shelters.
Yeah, the shelters. The Salvation Army and the shelter down here by White Street, by downtown.
Do you know about like their hours? Like, are they open 24/7, or do they have certain days that they're closed?
They open hours, like they have to come in the daytime and then they have to leave. Like they come at night. They leave in the daytime. So you have to get there like at a certain time before they close up. Like just like the end of the night, like let everybody in and out.
So it's pretty much just like a place to sleep.
You just come, get
a meal.
Get a meal. But then some of them just they sleep up on the bridge. They use their money to like drugs, just to keep their balance high. Because a lot of people around here die for like addiction. It's always something. Cause I grew up around this area, so I already know it changes slowly. So I already know. So So I seen the impact. Yeah.
What kind of impact?
Like I done see people done. That's why I started doing security because I'm thinking about joining law enforcement. But long story short, it's like I'd rather save people's lives than just trying to see them like go down and just crash and just give up what they like. Because at the end of the day, it's like we're here to help each other, you know. So if you see someone die from addiction, it scare you because like they need it. And say for instance you had that type of drug on you, you can help them out and give them that drug, you know. So if you don't have that drug on you, it's like they don't die. So if they like some people, they have that drug addiction to where they got that drug addiction to where it's like a need. I'm trying to see how I can say it. Like it's like one of them drug addicts. Like they really panicking for it. Like they don't want to take no food, no clothes, no shelter. They don't want nothing but that. They'll be more comfortable, they'll be more happy. They'll listen to you. They'll do whatever you say until it's something that they want. And it's just a choice that the people make, the decisions.
Right.
Yeah.